So you know that you and I both have these precision garage door silent package, the Tom and Dan silent package.
Yeah.
But my neighbor's garage door is, there's no other way to say it, loud as hell.
Yeah.
And so when I hear it go up, it's as if it's my old garage door.
Yeah,
so I have this weird, like, screwed up PTSD of post-traumatic stress door disorder of, like, me thinking that my wife is home when she's not.
Yeah.
Even my daughter can hear it. Yesterday, we're dancing around in the kitchen, like, acting funny, and we hear the garage door, and Maisie's like, Mommy's home. And I'm like, oh, she's home. I look out the window. No, it's not even us. It's the neighbor's garage door is so freaking loud that I can hear it in my townhome. You don't hear that when you get the Tom and Dan silent package and when you use the wonderful people at Precision Door Service of Central Florida, including our good friend who's on the show today, Mr. Big Tim.
Yep. You can call him directly, 407-710-BDMS. That's 710-2367.
Goes directly to him.
Yeah.
My wife's dad, they got a full door with the silent package, brand new motor. Tony Rage has it. You have it. I have it. Seth Petrozelli has it.
Yeah.
Multiple BDMs and listeners have gone to Precision Garage Door. It's just, there's no other way to do it.
You know what's also great is now during the holiday season, if you need to sneak out your garage door for whatever reason, it won't wake up your family in the middle of the night.
When Santa Claus is coming. Or if you want to go spark a jet.
Yeah, and so you could open the garage door and no one will hear it from inside the house. Like, it is really cool. Plus, it's Wi-Fi compatible, so you could check to see if it's open if you leave your house.
Well, that's the only bad thing is my wife does see when I come and go because it's linked to our internet, and it tells her when people are entering or not entering the home.
Yeah.
Here's another thing that's awesome. It improves the curb appeal of your home. My garage door sounded like crap. When it went up, it was unbalanced, and apparently that's a really big deal. And don't even think about replacing that spring on your own. You'll kill yourself. It's very, very dangerous. These guys have been in the business for so long. It ups the quality and the price of your home by putting in quality products.
They're all pros. They come to your house, precision door vans. It's not like they send some 1099
It's not a subcontractor. No. These are all their employees.
And here's some specials. If you want a brand new garage door, the whole thing.
This is what Andrea's dad did.
Yeah, you get 5% off by mentioning Tom and Dan. Also, they got a new special, $75 off Wi-Fi motors. So that's part of like our silent package motor for all T&D listeners till the end of the year. So just to let them know you're a Tom and Dan listener, and you can get $75 off that Wi-Fi silent package motor that we got.
And it doesn't just go up and down with a button. You can do there's a lot of features you can do in there. You can see a record, a log of who's been in, who's been out. I can turn on, here's a feature I like to use, I can turn on the light.
Yeah, from anywhere.
From anywhere.
From your phone.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I'm going downstairs I have a fridge in there, I need to go downstairs and get some bubbly or something that's in the fridge. I hit the button before I get down there. That way I'm not walking into darkness, because I'm a little baby.
Just give him a call. Again, 407-710-BDMS. That goes straight to Big Tim. He'll take care of you. It's Precision Door of Central Florida.
In the boy, the larynx and the vocal cords change so that his voice acquires the deeper pitch of a man's voice. The shoulders become broader, thighs grow longer, and the muscles become stronger. Hair begins to grow on the face, under the arms, and in the pubic area.
You are a man, and in taking on the role of the world's second greatest gender, you must adhere to a gentleman's guide to manliness.
Welcome to A Gentleman's Guide. I'm Tom Van.
I'm Dan Dennis.
Steve Kramer.
I didn't say boom there, but I really wanted to. That's a bad habit I got to break.
You actually did say boom.
Well, but I said something else before I said boom, which breaks the cycle. Hey, guys. How you guys doing?
So I was telling Daniel right before the show started.
I cannot believe this, by the way. This makes me very sad because I helped you make this purchase. Now I feel like a fool.
No. I told my wife the same thing. I was like, it goes to show you I shouldn't order. Maybe you shouldn't order electronics from not well-known companies because you don't know if it kind of goes to your same thing with all the Kickstarters and GoFundMe, or I guess not really GoFundMe, but the Kickstarters. Yeah. You take a gamble.
Indiegogo is another one, I think. Yeah,
you take a gamble with small companies because you don't know if they're going to be around. And what's odd is you don't see that much. Or at least I don't, when it comes to like technology, because all the big technology companies that produce like TVs and all electronics, like they usually do everything. So you probably can find a piece of technology from a well-known brand.
Yeah, but like when you've talked, I've bought security cameras in the past, and those companies have gone out of business.
Yeah.
You know, there's these small startup companies, and either they grow and become a successful company and, you know, stick around, or they get acquired, or they close.
Yeah. Now, I only have one example of sort of what you're talking about. I know you're going to explain it. Also, we're live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. You can watch all of our shows there. A Gentleman's Guide, A Corporate Time, Mediocre Time. They're already trying to guess what you purchased. We'll get to that. But do you want to say that first? Or say that first, and then and explain what you're going through. Because I only have one example, but I think that the company that I'm going to tell you about did an extremely ethical thing when they decided,
I think I might know what yours is.
We just can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you about it. You tell yours first.
Okay, so a couple...
It's especially important with technology, by the way.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, there's other things, you know, like, oh, crap, I can't get that brand of socks anymore. That's not the same thing as, like...
Well, it can be a good thing. Like, let's say your shoes. I happen to really like the shoes that Steve's worn. This is the second week in a row he's worn these shoes. They're crocodile shoes, right?
Yes.
And they're really cool. Now, if you told me you can't get these anymore, I'd be like, ooh, that makes them better. You see what I'm saying?
That's true. Discontinued can be a good thing.
Discontinued, like in the fashion world
or in art.
Makes
it rare.
Especially in art. You were just talking about art with Butler. Yeah, it can be a really good thing. Like when, I'll give you a silly one. I've got my monorail set up around my tree. We did that this week. All the little Disney buildings that go with it, all retired. You can't find them. If I wanted to get the Polynesian, I looked on eBay, $3,000.
No.
$3,000.
My Simpsons DVDs, I was looking at those because I was reading about how Disney Plus is not giving different aspect ratios for viewing, and it's driving viewers crazy.
Yeah.
And the bottom of the article says, don't get rid of those Simpsons DVDs. And I still got mine, and I was looking on eBay and on Amazon, and they're crazy expensive for some of the
hold
seasons.
on to them. So,
or currency coins.
So now that
when they get discontinued, they get really valuable.
So now that we've given you some good things, let's go to Tom. And probably, it's one of your wife's most prized possessions, isn't it?
Well, it was her favorite gift I've ever gotten her, and it was a couple of years back, and how it went...
Dude, I want to say it was like 2-3 years.
Yeah, I think it was 3 years ago. So me and Daniel, I wanted to get my wife...
Norm's a digital French witch. That's hilarious.
Well, it all started when...
His isn't digital. They're like crumbling, dusty in his garage French witches.
When the kids are born, obviously, we use Tony Rodriguez photography. I've been using him to take pictures of the kids. My wife loves it.
Yeah.
Obviously, does a good job. So
amazing job.
I wanted a way...
I saw it, and I think I might use him.
Yeah.
I might call Tony.
He's great.
I wanted a way to display the pictures, because everybody gets the quintessential picture blown up and you put over the mantle, you put it, and we have some of those that Tony's taken. The only thing is, I'm like, man, it would be great if you could change these often, because you pay for a big print. I mean, it could be, $200-$300 to blow one up.
You know the one in my house of May when she was a little baby. I'll be waiting out getting a new one pretty soon. That was expensive. You know what I mean? We have to ride out that for like 5 years.
So I knew they made digital picture frames. I was like, I wonder if they make a big digital picture frame that you can hang on the wall, like a big one.
Yeah.
And I
like focal point of your living room style.
And
like a painting over the mantle.
Yeah, not like the one you give your grandma so she can look at it in the morning while she's taking her pills.
Yeah. And
right?
so
it's the centerpiece of the living room or den. It's over your mantle.
And it
big
looks
feature.
that it is has what's that border called on the picture?
Well,
it's like a frame.
It's matted and framed.
Matted
and
and
Norm,
framed.
no, it was not a 2007 digital picture frame. This was a couple of years ago, and it is a massive HD quality picture frame.
It's 32 inch.
It dims. The lighting will dim depending on the room. The way that it projects makes it look like almost a real photograph, not like a TV.
Really?
It's really nice.
That's pretty cool.
Well, the Daniel, I remember looking for it, and I'm like, man, they don't make a picture frame like a big one.
This
it's
is
weird.
my fault now.
And then, but Daniel knows how to
That's how it works.
search the internet. And Daniel's like, hey,
you refer a product or a service.
You're right.
And Daniel's like, I found one company that does it.
There's only one.
And they're called Memento.
Great name.
And they make
Memento.
And
I want to break that into like Memento.
they make a 32-inch digital matted frame, picture frame
In different wood, that you could match it to your room. It's pretty high end.
And he's like, it has a little light sensor, so when the lights go down in your living room, it dims
adjusts.
the brightness, so it's not just like a bright
because
ass
then
thing.
if it's a TV, we all know you turn the lights out, and then automatically your painting is now blasting across the room.
Yeah.
It's meant meant to show, this particular one that Tom has is meant to show both pictures, and if you wanted to purchase high-end digital art, you can put art on there and have it rotate through your favorite artists.
And then it could store up to like hundreds and up to like 1,000 pictures, and then it could change. You could have it on for 24 hours if you want and change every day, or it could change every 30 seconds. You know, you set the... Anyway, and it comes with
I
an
saw those
app.
at Walmart. They've got them in the $3.99 bin.
No, but this is a giant
It's not
one.
a TV with a screensaver. I'm trying to tell Norm that. Like, everybody confuses it with, like, the screensaver you can get on your computer
Well,
monitor.
because there's
It's
so
not
many
the same.
crappy digital frames out there. Everybody has that picture of, like, this super crappy, cheap one that's out there.
CVS was built on the back of crappy digital
That's
picture
right.
frames.
That's exactly right.
And
It's the perfect gift for an occasion.
And Norm is right. I may be able to like purchase a 32-inch TV, then frame it myself, then get some sort of app.
Back up just a smidge, not yourself. We'll get somebody to frame it and budget frame it. And
I don't
know. You didn't say what happened yet.
No, I wouldn't. But anyway, so you could probably build this thing if you were like handy enough and smart enough for cheaper or whatever, and then get
Canon could do it.
But then you'd have to get the software, and then the light sensor the TV is not going to have.
And you have to build a frame.
And
you'd have to custom frame it if it's got a wood frame like that. That's right.
So if it doesn't have the light sensor, it's going to be this bright ass thing, and
you don't want that.
And then so also, I don't know if regular TVs are made to have an image on there for 24 hours straight, never turned off.
Not a good idea.
I've been testing that theory.
I don't know.
I like that. Let's see what we can do.
So anyway, this thing was $1,000 at the time, and I was like, "Wow!"
What year was that?
This was
like
2 years ago,
3 years ago. I want to say 3.
And
$300
Christmas. It was a Christmas gift.
Yeah, so a 32-inch basically display screen with a frame around it was $1,000. I understand it was way too much money, but it was the only thing available, and I was dead set on getting this for my wife. Anyway, bought it for her. I bit the bullet, bought it for her, and I was like,
cried.
And she loved it.
That's when you knew you did.
Oh, as a gift.
Yeah.
Like happiness. That's good.
And then you had the photo. So, and this is one of the few times you got to
made you laugh and made you cry.
Well, you have to understand this too. I think it's one of the only times that
joy,
you
tears of pain.
really, 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 really had an idea. You got the
hit it
pictures
apart.
made.
Yeah.
You got the early, loaded everything up, and had it ready to go. Like, you spent a lot of time and effort on this.
And then she loved it. And then subsequently after that, I would buy her photo shoots of the kids and then display them on the picture frame.
Yeah, that's good.
For her birthday
pretty
or
good
whatever.
idea,
That's a good
right?
gift.
I mean, look, I'd love to crap all over his gift ideas, and I have in the past, and some of them are really bad. Didn't you get your wife one year a white limo to an ocean restaurant, seafood
really?
restaurant? She didn't even eat seafood.
Yeah. I made a
You
lot of
got to take a limo to fried clams and beer.
It was bad.
Super classy.
Anyway, so she loves, and then she puts her own pictures on there, and when it's Christmas time, she puts a Christmas picture with the kids.
Well, she changes it. Like, if we come over, she'll be like, "Oh, I don't want that one. My mood feels a little more like
I'll put other pictures of Daniel and Andrew.
Or you can do anything.
Maisie's like when Daniel and Andrew comes over, she'll put a picture up with Maisie and the boys.
Yeah,
and
Tommy.
So did it stop working?
Okay, so
oh man, I think it's worse. What happened to it is worse than it stopped working.
Yeah. Well, it actually it did have a plug problem when we first got it, and it was going on and off. Like the plug was something like a hardware issue, and we literally had to send it back, and they replaced it, and we mailed it back, and I got nervous. I was like, "Oh
new
my
company,
god,
new company!"
Yeah, we mailed it back, and they mailed us a brand new one, and then we put it up. It worked fine. So I'm like, okay, cool. Well, about 6 months ago, Crystal, she started getting nervous because every once in a while we'll turn off, and then we're like, that's weird, and then we'll wiggle the plug and turn back on, and we're like, oh.
Uh-oh.
And then she searched the company, and she's like, uh-oh, I think this company's out of business. And I'm like, really? And then she's like, it the website, just a static page. It's like, I'm looking on forums.
That's a bad sign.
The company's out of business. I'm like, oh no. Well, I'm like, well, at least everything still works. And and then
no warning.
A couple days ago, the app stopped working.
Oh,
and
so you can't even use it.
And so now
it's stuck with the photos it's got, I would imagine.
You can't upload any new pictures to the app. So we have all the pictures that we uploaded, but now, I mean, this thing was $1,000. So she looked on
They could have given
Reddit.
they should have given notice, the company's going to be shutting down. No. We got 6 months.
My wife's mad from the Twitch chat room because, we all know. how much this gift means to Crystal. Like, it is like a really meaningful, cool thing that she uses it all the time.
Here's the odd thing. So then I was like, all right, well, $1,000 down the drain. That's a hard pill to swallow. Well, we got a couple, 3 years of good use out of it. And technically it still works with just the pictures we have. But then I was like, well, let's look and see. It's been 3 years. Maybe other companies are making these things, and we have a hard time, for whatever reason. It's
what are you
so
going to do,
bizarre.
though? I mean, that the only choice if it's another company is you get a brand new frame and get rid of this one?
Yeah. Or just use this
or
one.
Or this one's for the old photos.
Now she has to never get rid of the app on her phone because there's no way to download a new one. You know what I'm saying? So we're just going to have to keep her phone if we want to use this. She'll eventually get new phones, but we'll just have to keep this one.
Oh,
so
God,
it can operate.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, so if she jumped to, let's say she went to the iPhone 11 Pro,
or she just have to keep her old one.
Yeah.
She just to operate this stupid
Wait, so you
momentum.
need the app to operate it?
Think about
There's no manual setting, are you sure?
No manual
Wow.
setting. It's just app only. Because there's no button. There's
So,
one power button. And
I had a similar situation to this.
Okay.
Except I think it's worse. So my house, it was advanced when it was built, and it was built with a computerized lighting system.
Okay.
So it's all low voltage wiring for the lighting.
Yeah.
Right? Except that the low voltage system stopped working.
Really?
So you could not turn on or off the lights in the house.
Okay. The whole house?
No, not every light in the house was on the system. So all the lights that were on standard wiring worked fine, but all the low voltage lights would not turn on and off. And then so I was like, all right, well, I'll just find the company.
Right.
Look up the company. Does not exist anymore.
But there's a low voltage systems for sale, right? It's not something that's impossible
No, because
to
this
find.
is like a specifically wired proprietary system that has hardware that controls
They don't
it.
want to play nice, man. This
No.
is VHS and Betamax.
That's
Nobody's going to be cool like that.
This is This is Apple, not PC. This is not open architecture.
How long are we still fighting that? I mean, we're in 2019. The only video game I know of that's cross-platform is Fortnite. You know what I mean? We're 2019.
Oh no, you can get Civilization 4.
And but why? You know what I mean? Like, they
For
just
example.
don't want to. They don't want to. They want you to buy new stuff.
So luckily, I did find a guy. Finally, it was like a quest, and he lived 50 miles away, and he was the guy that did it. And then it turned out, luckily, that another company acquired the old company. Otherwise, we would have been SOL. So luckily, a new company acquired the old company. That happened with Vudu, though, too. Wasn't it Vudu that shut down the video service?
Yeah.
I'd always get mad. You get the movies and you get the digital copy, right? So if it's a good one, you get the Apple one where you can download the movie or you can put it on your Amazon or whatever. If it's a bad one, you've got to deal with stupid Vudu or whatever random application they're using. And then I was always sketched out about Vudu because it always seemed difficult to use. And then finally, I think it was Vudu, I got an email saying Vudu's shutting down.
Really?
And all your digital movies are on there. But I think... I don't even want to look because I'm afraid I'll have lost all those movies I got. But I think if you attach them to your Amazon account or something or another account, you can still use them.
Now to give you the product that I was talking about.
Yeah.
There's a specific product that I use to convert video files, large video files. If I'm doing an edit in Final Cut, there's a program that I use. I think it's called MPEG Stream Clip. Tiny little program, and you paid let's say $1.95 for it. So obviously not $1,000 picture frame, but they decided at some point, and I think they got absorbed, and they just weren't going to be in this business any longer. And I used this program at the time. We were doing a lot of videos, so I was using it on the daily, right?
Yeah.
So they sent out an email to everybody, and they said, look, we already knew this was coming. So for the past 6 months, we've been working really hard to patch any problem that this program could ever have, and we've made it as small and as streamlined as humanly possible. That way, even newer phones can run it because it's just super simple.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be dedicated to still supporting it if things do catastrophically break.
Why not just release the code and open the software?
That's exactly what they did. They open sourced it.
Yeah.
So they're just we did as much as we can. We'll still support
That's
it.
ethical.
If
That's super ethical.
It's totally ethical because I can still use it. Now, they're not going to make a new version. They've said that.
Yeah.
We're out. We're out of this game. But we'll support this as much as we can, and we'll also let you, if you can figure it out, be our guest.
Well, I mean, that's the whole essence of technology and the challenges of technology is that, you've got so many forms of technology that are proprietary. I mean, your check engine light on most vehicles, you've got to have the specific machine to, do the computer diagnostic on that. If you bought an Atari, 2600, you've got to have that machine to run your cartridges. And if they stop making that, then you've got to find somebody that's got one that still works. I mean, that's the challenge of technology.
You've got Andrea really freaked out now because one of her prized possessions is something I bought for her. We set a hunt for this thing. Is her light up LED Christmas tree. That has does the patterns and the crazy music, and you can change it from the app on your phone. They don't make that anymore.
There's probably a way to hack it.
And it's breaking. Like the middle lights are just like your plug in the back of your thing. It's jiggy jangy. The company doesn't even exist anymore. It was made by one of the most reputable companies you would ever think of.
It was
GE.
GE's got trouble, man.
But it's a massive company. You'd think they'd support it. Nah, man, it's done. That whole line of Christmas trees were really hot for like a year, and then for whatever reason, I think they were too expensive.
If you want to read
make,
like a mess of
at least they make another one you could buy. In my case,
not like this one. This one does the music. This one does the patterns.
And I'm sure there's other digital frames, Tom.
GE does.
There isn't.
How could that be?
We've searched.
That's what I said.
Are you kidding?
That's what I said.
I mean, there's the little ones, just not the big ones.
Yeah.
You could get
that's
like 35
weird, though, right?
little ones.
Just get a big one and then pay somebody to cut a frame for it.
Well, the problem is
all you'd have a miter saw and you could do it.
Yeah, but it doesn't have a light dimmer, and then the software to get the display to get it to change.
By the way, if you want to see a company that has had trouble over the last few years, that was like a Goliath, is GE. There's been a few articles about their challenges.
Oh, really?
So
and they won't go out of business, most likely, right?
No,
Juan just put one in the Twitch chat room. Unfortunately, Juan, this is not it's not the same. This doesn't have the dimming technology. This is basically just a television with a frame around it. It's not the same. It's hard to explain to people how different this thing actually is, but it's totally different.
I remember hearing about this over the years.
It looks like when you walk into your house and look at it, and like when you have your TV on and you have that on at the same time, they look like different products.
One looks like a picture that's framed. The other looks like a TV.
Because maybe I'm wrong, and maybe they're starting to do. I just thought, like, why isn't every giant company? Because it's similar. It's just a display screen. It's cheaper than a TV because you don't even need it to play audio. You don't need it to play video at all. No, you just need it to have.
But
like
ideally, you want super high resolution and some of those features.
You need 4K.
Not
4K. You want to be able to add. You could add filters to any photo.
That's the one nice thing about printing out silver nitrate whatever that photo is that. That's forever, but you can only have one at a time.
Yeah.
And if you frame it, you got to.
It was a brilliant idea for companies to make. Like, why aren't all giant picture frames, like, for family pictures digital? And it should be cheap to make. Sony, Samsung, they all should be doing them.
Maybe we've got your business idea.
Here's the thing. As soon as Sony starts making them, it'll be $150, and then every picture in your house will be digital, because why not? You want them, and then as you walk by, and you could change them for the seasons.
Right.
Like, it's all makes sense.
Well, our buddy Jason's going to come in here at some point and talk about those walls that Sony's making now. But what boggles me here is this company, like, I remember going to their website. I remember when you ordered it. I remember going through, you choosing the color of the matting, the wood, the size, all of that. It was really high-end, really nice website. All this company had to do, and I realize it's not feasible for every company, but all they had to do is open that app to the point where you can use it as
just open the source.
Yeah, just make it open source or simplify it enough where you can at least add photos. I mean, just don't. Or it's bricked now. The whole thing is bricked.
Or shut down the company, but spin off the app and just charge a fee for the app.
Yeah.
If they just want to make it a money-making thing. There's literally no overhead. All they've got to do is update the app
Passive
to each
income.
edition of
right.
Yeah, because then
That's
it's
a
software.
great idea.
Because I have no way. It's not like I could take this to.
Because they sold a lot.
Like, I would have to.
Yeah, they did. It was a wonderful. The whole experience, the company, everything. When it was running, this thing was awesome. I was like, this is dope.
Insurance companies are like that
too
too.
Expensive. I should have only paid $250 for this.
But, it was way too expensive. But I think it's
expensive.
because they knew what they had. Because the other ones, sure, you could have bought a 32-inch TV for $150.
Yeah.
But it's not the same.
Yeah.
That's the part that's hard to explain to people.
Well, I'd have to upload an app to change.
This happens all the time with all kinds of businesses, though. I've seen it from like people that sign a contract for this or that, or car dealerships, insurance companies. I mean, this type of stuff happens all the time, and people get left holding the bag. I mean, there's situations. There was that travel company out of England that went down, and everybody was stranded all over the world.
Yes,
and
Cactus
nobody's
Steve
getting
was
paid.
Traveled. Yeah.
I
We're
mean,
stranded.
That is the good thing about doing business with solid companies is you'll know they'll be here tomorrow.
It's interesting because for whatever reason, like you imagine you're fly by night, like local pool guys, or like you know what I'm saying, but like for whatever reason,
imagine going to work and you're not going to get paid.
Are you channeling the old snake under the vinyl liner? Is that
well, I'm just saying those make sense, but whatever reason, like when a website and it's like selling technology, you're like, oh, this won't go out of business, but why not? It's just like any other business.
I'm always dubious.
Yeah.
I bought those mole cameras years ago. They're like security cameras, and you could remotely log in.
You were into that way ahead of your time.
That was probably like at least 10 or 12 years ago.
Wow.
And that company went down.
That was when cameras were like expensive and you got security cameras?
That's why I bought them. It was like a Costco, and I was probably solid. It was Costco or Sam's or something, and it was like solid company. All right, I'll get these, and it was cool technology. They weren't super expensive, so it's not the end of the world. But just another technology that's gone.
Yeah. And now, cameras for your house and stuff, they're easy to get. Easy to get on your phone, and like
they're changing everything.
It really will probably drastically, cut down on burglary, right? I mean, if everybody's got cameras all over the house,
what it does do is there is a deterrent effect, but it also makes it a lot easier to investigate crimes. I mean, when law enforcement steps in and...
Dude, they found that Beefy King arsonist already.
By the way...
That was fast.
By the way...
Because there's cameras all over.
I talked about there was a news thing I did, I think it came out yesterday, an investigative report about Ring cameras and about how those, basically all of the baggage that comes with them, the good and the bad.
Well, I'll just say this. That happened really fast that they did capture him, but the lamest arsonist name you can have is the Beefy King arsonist. That is not menacing. That is not strike fear
Beefy King.
in
Was
the
it like
hearts of people.
Was it a vegan terrorist? Was that what it was?
I don't know. To me, it looked like one of our listeners.
That's the first thing I thought is like, the guy, firebombed Beefy King. He must be like a vegan, anti-beef guy.
He looked like a cracky.
I looked at him and I was like, I think I had a beer with that guy at the BDM Christmas party last year.
Why did he say why?
I didn't read that far into the interview. So, I think he's just nuts.
The Ring thing is interesting because you've got these Ring cameras, and the issue is it's a data issue, right? So the data isn't on your local server. Data's not on your thumb drive. The data is with Amazon, right?
Yeah.
And centralized
data isn't with Amazon.
Whose data is it, right? And who has access to it? And what was happening was when law enforcement was looking into something, they have, through the application, can make a request. Can they see your video? And that presents a whole host of issues. Even if you deny it, well, it makes it a lot easier for law enforcement to go to court and then go ahead and get a subpoena to take a look at the video. Actually, that happened with 23andMe or Ancestry, right?
I remember that.
The Gattaca nightmare. A judge, I think Strobridge, just now in Orange County, executed or allowed a warrant on for law enforcement to investigate 23andMe to search for DNA evidence in a crime.
Yeah, it starts blurring the lines of, we're giving seemingly, I don't know what it is with humanity and people, because there's two types of people. There's people that don't give a damn about privacy and really just whatever. They're all listening, they're all watching.
Yeah, we were talking about that this morning.
And you just move on with your life. You don't care. Now, it is dangerous, I understand, because you have a whole society like that, and then all of a sudden bad things could happen. I understand that point. Then you got people that are really uptight about it and uncomfortable about it.
Well,
I feel like those uncomfortable people are going to have a rough time moving forward because...
Well, the crux of the issue is it's doable either way. You can have the technology either way, where the technology is localized and you control it and it's on your server or your computer.
Right.
Then, it's protected. When it's centralized and it's in the hands of a, credit agency or a, Google or Amazon or whatever company, it's centralized and, it creates all kinds of bad incentives for action. Amazon, hosts data for people around the world, tens of millions of people. They also host data for law enforcement agencies, government agencies, the federal government.
They host our data.
They
for our show.
So you've got the potential for sharing of data between Amazon and clients, like Facebook had with Cambridge Analytica. Right?
Yeah.
And then you've got the potential for bad third-party actors to come in. That's hackers. That's like other nation states that want to come in and hack that data. And then you're talking about data that's like every aspect of your life. What you watch, what you wear, what you buy, where you go. Everything about your life is effectively in there. Everything. I mean, Google just had that Nightingale project just leaked, right? Where they're amassing health data on people, right? So... there is a movement. I think we talked about it like maybe a month ago or something. There's this movement to bring back the internet to what it was designed to be, which is the exchange of ideas and information, and kind of take away the negative externalities we've had over the last 10 years, and to make that data localized again. Because the problem is you get all these leaks and hacks. I mean,
there's your hat. Make data localized again.
I mean, every big box store has been hacked.
Nerds would eat that hat up,
right? Equifax got hacked. The 150 million people's identity records.
Well, that hurts us as a company that there's a huge portion, the most important portion of our business are our subscribers. So when their credit cards get
that was a problem with Ship to Shore.
It screws us up pretty bad.
Yeah,
that was a major problem.
The problem is for the people that have a problem with all this, and you're right. I mean, it's a scary situation if bad things happen because we've let it go too far and we disregarded our own privacy and we're like, it doesn't matter. I think the majority of the world is, and this is a bad thing, like me, in the fact that they're like, I don't care.
What happens is you don't care until it hits you.
A good thing.
And then you get, like, I've had a ton of clients that have had identity theft issues. I mean, where they've gotten, giant bills run up on their credit cards, or you could not imagine some of the identity theft issues where people have basically lost control of their lives.
I think people just don't know. They're like, well, because the average person, right?
I fall into that it'll never happen to me category.
Or
it's happened. Odds are it's happened to all of us in this room.
No, I know, but I'm just saying the way that I feel is.
But we haven't had consequences yet.
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like the average person, they're busy with their jobs, their family, they're overwhelmed. They're just like, what? But
what if you could give them? What if they had a viable alternative? What if you said, you can have, these technology services, Amazon, Google, Facebook, whatever, where all the data is centralized and that there's data sharing between them and client companies, or you can have the same exact services, option B, and your data's with you and it won't be shared.
Yeah.
Apple's made that choice.
I think having an option is good.
Well, that's the problem right now. That
most people would opt if it was easy.
I mean, I don't want to bore you guys with this, but Tom talks a lot about me listening to podcasts about podcasting. That's one of the massive things that's going on right now, in that there are companies that will now fleece and take your information as a podcast listener, but it's unethical because there is no way to successfully opt in or opt out of listening to a podcast. And that's the problem. Like, the problem now is that there is data for you, like where you're listening from, who you are, how fast you're going in your car while you're listening. I mean, you can get all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But there's no successful way to opt out of that. And now, Libsyn, thankfully, the company that we host with, is working towards getting to a point where there is a way. Because it is the ethical thing to do.
Well, that is one nice thing.
You need to have a way out. It shouldn't be just, you can just take all of my data and know what I'm doing, even though I don't care. I don't.
Yeah.
You could, but
you should have a choice.
You should have a choice.
Yeah.
You should absolutely have a choice. This is going to become this privacy and podcasting thing is going to explode.
This privacy thing in general is going to be a big thing because you are going to see consequences in people's lives, and when people start to feel it, they're going to want to do something about it. And you may see just these big companies right now create a secondary option, for a fee or an opt, Or you may see states or the federal government put laws into place that basically create more protections. Because right now there's
Yeah, and
not much.
The technology is moving too fast, and our government is literally designed to move slow because we want to have checks and balances and make sure you're making the right decision. So it's hard to get anything done, and you got technology way up here, and we're trying to catch up to everything's out, rein it back in.
We do have to take a break. Yep. I apologize, we're way late. So we'll take a quick break. We'll come back with more A Gentleman's Guide to Manliness. I got a couple things to kick around, and we immediately this morning I had a couple new voicemails for A Gentleman's Guide, so we'll take all of that when we return.
It's Tom and Dan to tell you about two of our most favorite events we do each year. It's the Bad at Business Beer Fest and Sofa and Suds, downtown Sanford, November 23rd and 24th.
Yeah, man, in a world filled with expensive beer fest and you being nickeled and dimed to death when you're trying to have fun, we do things a lot different. As far as we know, this is the only free beer fest in existence, and yes, we did say free.
If you've got an ID and you're of legal drinking age, you're good to go. You show up to the Bad Business Beer Fest. We've got more than 40 local, national, and indie breweries all out providing samples of some of the best craft beer in the business.
We got food trucks. We got other vendors that will be on site so you can get some food. We'll have DJs and live music to keep you energized during the duration of the day. And we're taking over the entirety of Sanford, Florida's historic L Walk. That's pretty much between West End Trading Company and Celery City Craft.
The entire event runs from 12 to 6 p.m. Don't forget, get there early. We start the tasting from 2 to 4. Remember, enjoy your beers responsibly. You must be 21 and up, and the free tasting is limited to the first 2,500 people. So remember, get there around noon to make sure that you get your sample cup and wristband.
And the next day, we have Tom and Dan's Sofa and Suds. This is the world-famous Sanford Couch Races. Couch teams from all over compete to see whose piece of furniture is the fastest in the business and who will be taking home that coveted championship trophy. Now, racing starts at 2 p.m., so you're going to want to get there a little bit early for a prime spot to watch. But again, we're taking over Sanford for 2 days, November 23rd and 24th.
And remember, me and Daniel host the Sofa Races, so we'll be on stage all day calling all the races. It's a super fun time. We also got recliner races as well. It's the Sanford weekend. It's November 23rd and 24th. Head on out, completely free to everybody. We'll see you there.
We're back with the Gentleman's Guide to Manliness. Steve Kramer.
Tom Man.
Dan Dennis, do you want to talk about what national day it is?
All right.
Do you like pickles?
Yeah.
You pickle man, Steve? You pickle man?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
sweet gherkin or dill? Or garlic dill?
I'm a garlic dill man myself.
Or bread and butter?
No bread and butter.
I can't do the bread and butter.
I can't either.
Yeah, I don't
because
like
it's not a sweet gherkin.
Yeah.
It's a little different.
I'm not.
I like a dill, right?
What's
dill
wrong,
pickle.
Sam? Is everything all right?
What happened?
What did you think was happening?
I didn't know you were recording already.
Oh, do you need me to stop?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, dill pickles.
National Pickle Day.
And I know there's a 40-foot pickle outside. He's like, I want to talk to Dan. But yeah, today's National Pickle Day, buddy. It was November 14th is National Pickle Day. And let's see here. I got some really, really uninteresting pickle facts for you.
All right.
Let me see here. The United States government produces 40% of U.S. pickle output as they include pickles in rations for the armed forces.
All right.
So almost half of all of our pickles that the government makes go to the troops.
Is
Really?
there nutritional value in
Well, maybe
pickles?
it's because they're
Cucumbers,
fairly
I guess.
preserved.
Yeah,
From being pickled?
It's the preserving aspect.
They're
of
talking.
them.
We're talking about pickles, just like cucumber pickles, right? Not
Yes.
pickled.
Not pickled veggies.
Pickled eggs or
Yeah,
pickled
no,
whatever.
I don't count those.
No, I don't either.
More than 67%
Pickled beets,
of
maybe.
all households eat pickles. American households in particular purchase pickles every 53 days.
All right.
What's your favorite brand of pickles?
Oh, man. I'm I go back and forth. I used to be like a Vlasic guy.
Really?
Because they were kept cold, and I'd convince myself
Wait,
that it
Vlasic
would-
is the one that's not cold. It's in the aisle with all the other
Oh,
ones.
Clausen. Clausen is the one I think.
I'm a-
Clausen...
Yeah, Clausen's the cold one.
Clausen is the cold one. And I convinced myself that Clausen was the pickle to go to. Then Boar's Head kind of creeped into Clausen land. You know,
Yeah.
they got the Boar's Head pickles. But you know what? I find myself eating the most, and you guys are going to make fun of me.
Uh-oh.
A big Mondo jar of stinky old Mount Olive pickles. Artificial green. I mean, they are like bright.
I grew up in this
Mountain Dew green pickles.
I grew up in this brand that was popular in New Orleans, I guess, called Ma Brown Pickles, but they went out of business. So
Ma Brown sounds like Forrest Gump.
Ma Brown.
Ma Brown pickles.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I like Clausen.
I will tell you, at like those farmer markets, the people that make their own like pickles,
Yeah, they put it in a fish bucket.
But no, but
That doesn't sketch you out at all.
It sketches me out a
Like
little bit.
homemade pickles is something I'm not. That's a threshold
Dude,
I don't want to cross.
They made some jalapeno pickles one time at this farmer's market, and
What's in the pickling juice? Tom?
Blow your teeth off.
yeah, and I was good. I was like, this is pretty damn good.
I like a spicy pickle.
Yeah,
I'll take a spicy pickle.
and I don't care.
I'll take the Clausen home and then add some Thai chili pepper to it.
That's what Tony Rage did. Do you know Tony Rage does that? Tony Rage will take the top off his pickles, and then dump a bunch of red pepper,
Cayenne
red pepper flakes in it, and then screw it back on and put it in the fridge and for
You
a
can make
day
your own,
and shake it up, and he makes it. He says it makes a spicy pickle.
You know
There you
how
go.
you know how easy it would be for a listener to kill me because I will eat anything anybody gives me with no worry that anything's wrong with it. Like I'll eat any homemade stuff. And like I made this home, I'll eat it. I'll never think.
Which is why you buy pickles at farmers markets.
Yeah, Juan is killing me because I eat the Mount Olive pickle. Look, I'm just being honest. The Mount Olive's hamburger chips. Oh yeah,
But he's talking about how they ferment them in open air. But have you ever? I love fish sauce, like Thai fish sauce.
Yeah.
You know how that's made?
No.
That's the grossest thing in the world. The way they make it. It's like fermented fish guts.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's the foundation of Thai food, though. It's delicious.
Yeah, Juan says Mount Olive ferments their pickles in open air tanks outdoors. They have to log how much bird crap falls into the tanks to make sure they are within safe thresholds.
Well, so many parts per million.
That's fine.
I don't know if that makes me not like the pickles or like them more.
Yeah.
It's
the environmental. It's like the bagels in Brooklyn are supposed to be good because of the water there.
like that coffee.
The Mount Olive is good because of the environmental
It's
conditions.
like the coffee that the monkeys poop out.
Yeah, or like, women use makeup that's got guana in it.
I know we only got a couple minutes left, but this is something that's way out of my league, and I don't understand it.
Your wife.
But
The
yes,
pickle lady.
And well, actually, now that I lost some weight, I'm scooting a little above her. I think, I was saying, like 5 more pounds, and if I hit the weights hard,
Have you been feeling marketable? Have you been getting catcalls?
yeah.
No. I wouldn't notice.
You've been
Anyway.
propositioned lately?
Confidence a little bit.
I'm oblivious to everything. So
I notice that now when he's typing emails, sometimes he'll like look at his reflection in his monitor and poof his chest muscles.
Yeah,
Does he stare a little bit too long? Does he talk to himself?
He'll flex his pecs a little bit.
You're looking real good.
I'm making them dance, bro.
Yeah.
So I want to get, and I saw my wife's brother had this at his house, and he an espresso machine, right?
Espresso machine?
But
Which kind, though?
You don't drink coffee at all, though.
I know, but I want to start because I want to get off.
Oh, starting with espresso is hard.
I don't know. You can do it very well. Cappuccino is maybe easier
because
than
I want a small shot. I just want the caffeine.
Gotcha.
So I want the vessel to give me I don't want a big like pot of coffee because I like coffee.
The
it's fine.
Nestle machine is very, very good. And it makes really good espresso and cappuccino.
It does.
I have the old fashioned kind where you compact the espresso
That's
beans.
the
You
one
can
I have.
grind them yourself.
Yeah.
You put them in there. You've got the
froth the
extension
milk.
for frothing.
Yeah.
I've got that. Broadway Joe.
Burn the hell out of myself on that thing.
I used to go to Broadway Joe for shave and
that's a great
hot
guy.
shave.
Yeah.
Jim Phillips turned me on to him. He's great, and he would make it in there. And his son showed me how they make this, the coffee Italian Sicilian style or whatever. So I bought the exact same machine, but then we got the Nestle machine, and it's so easy and it tastes so good that we like it.
I think
Is that how you
William
make Cuban
Sonoma.
coffee? And Juan knows.
I think Christine
That's
nailed
different.
it. Why don't you just make cold brew? More caffeine, easier to make.
but
I
not
didn't do
as
that.
smooth as a cappuccino
It's
for a
not
non-coffee
smooth
drinker.
at all. It hurts me.
Yeah.
Like, cold brew gives me instant diarrhea.
And
but
super strong on the caffeine.
really strong.
Yeah. I mean,
I think there's
Like your
easy
heart will be
ways
pounding.
online to make that. You could do a simple pour over. Like most of my friends just do pour over. It's kind of like your nanny used to make coffee.
But Tom is a convenience guy.
I need just a button. Because
You need a Keurig then.
My brother-in-law had the espresso machine and the grinder, and he's like, this is what you do. You grind. He's like, you grind this much. He showed me. He's like, grind. You get the coffee grounds. You pat it down, and then you put it in the espresso machine. You put a button.
That's what I had.
It makes you.
Here's what you want.
A couple
for
espresso.
somebody like Daniel and me. You would I have a French press, right?
I like a French
exactly.
press, yeah.
It's the best coffee. You brew it. It's delicious, but it's work.
Good. Yeah, it's work.
You need the one button push. You want the Nespresso machine. I'm telling you, it's like the Keurig is a good machine, but
Nespresso's better.
But Nespresso's way better.
It's called Nespresso.
Nespresso.
It's the one that old George Clooney advertises for.
They sell them at Williams Sonoma.
I don't watch it.
He's Game of Thrones.
I don't watch commercials.
And he's drinking the coffee.
It's not cheap, but in the world of espresso machines, it's probably in the bottom 1% of cost.
What are we talking like $250?
I don't know. Yeah, probably probably less.
Oh, okay.
I think you did for $150, $200. I don't know.
I just feel like I'm
$139. Look at that.
I've gone full. I'm back into soda.
$139.
I've gone full on soda. I'm like, it used to be, I cut back my soda. I cut back to 1 soda, and then I cut back to no soda. I was just doing coffee. Now I'm 8 soda.
Oh, I'm with you.
I'm back in the game.
Coke Zero is my
It's so
downfall.
good.
It is so good.
It's the problem is I feel the chemicals.
No, killing me. Yeah.
But I
It's
asked
the
my
Coca-Cola
doctor,
classic
he's
recipe.
I was there yesterday.
I think I haven't researched this in a long time.
He's like, drink some tea, and I'm like, I don't want to drink some tea.
Why not?
Tea's good.
It's got caffeine in it.
I know, but it's it's not as good as soda.
So Diet Coke is, I believe, the new Coke recipe, but with aspartame for the sweetener.
Okay.
Coke Zero, I believe, and somebody will check this in the chat room, I'm sure. Coke Zero is the classic Coke recipe, but with aspartame. I'm pretty sure.
Well, the aspartame is the one thing that
that's the sweetener.
Yeah.
That's why it's diet instead of real.
It's the
Can I get a Coke Zero but made with sugar?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the sugar by far worse than the artificial sweetener.
If they took every bit of artificial and regular sweetener out of a Coke, what would it taste like if it was just like coffee, nothing in it, tea, nothing in it? I just want
garbage.
Coke, nothing. Just give me the caramel, give me the caffeine, and give me the cola flavoring, but give me no sweetness. What would it taste like?
I think it would be bad. I
think it would be too.
Yeah. It would taste like straight up
I'm surprised.
hot poison.
I'm surprised they don't make that though, right?
Well,
because
without the sweetener,
what do we have
nobody
now?
will buy it.
We have Diet Coke.
Without the sugar, it would not be good.
You have Coke, Diet Coke, and then Coke Zero, and then you've got the Coke. What's the green Coke?
They've got Coke with different sweeteners. They got that Coke with the Splenda sweetener.
Then they got the Coke that's with pure cane sugar. That's the green one.
You know what? None of this will matter. I mean, the alcohol is killing me faster than anything. So what does it matter? I guess it doesn't even matter. Just drink all the sugar, all the artificial sweeteners, and I mean, my other unhealthy.
Okay,
it turns out that every artificial sweetener we find, though, then they're like, you shouldn't be drinking that.
Well, because
which one am I supposed to drink?
Because there's an argument that your brain senses the sweetness and then has chemical reaction based on that.
Correct.
But Diet Coke, so here's what it says.
I don't care about them
close.
making me fat. I mean, I already figured that part out. It's not making me want to eat. I'm counteracting that with my Adderall.
So the new Coke recipe that was introduced in 1985 used a version of the Diet Coke recipe, but with corn syrup instead of aspartame. So anyway, there's something to what I was saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're all bad. I mean, the caramel coloring.
And then we got the Zevia, which is stevia. It's what's supposed to be more plant-based, I guess, with less ingredients. And it's okay.
I just need someone. The problem is there's every information about everything counterintuitive to everything you're reading everywhere. So it's hard to find out what is.
Well, that's the post-information world. That's the post-fact world, right? It's difficult to sort through. What's valid and what's not. I mean, everything that we knew about dieting when I was in high school is all turned on its head. I mean, in the 90s, everything was about low fat.
It was Atkins crazy, right?
No, it was low fat back then. It was like the Smartwells.
Yeah.
Was it Smartwells?
Snackwells. How do you remember Snackwells?
Because they were so bad.
Oh, they had the ones, and it was like a devil's food cake with marshmallow, and it was horrible.
They had the Oleo. whatever that oil that wouldn't be absorbed.
Olestra.
Olestra.
That's the one that gave you diarrhea.
Yeah, and they said it too. It's like will cause. Basically, it's going to make you this.
Yellow anal leakage. It said on the package.
Gross. Yeah, everything was low fat in the 90s, and then all of a sudden, like in the mid 2000s, they knew it before. There was like Atkins had been around for a long time, and there'd been like a lot of discussion about sugar and insulin.
And then he
all
fell
that,
and hit his head, right? And then that was it. That was it for that guy.
Samantha brought up something in the chat room about I read that article too. Something came out with the artificial sweeteners being linked to Alzheimer's and those kind of
the most
diseases.
persuasive.
And I'm like, why? I mean,
Yeah.
they didn't explain why or whatever.
No,
that doesn't seem like there should be a link.
The most recent, I was reading an article, I don't know, a couple of months ago, and actually the most cogent theory right now for Alzheimer's and other neurological issues is that it may be tied to herpes simplex 1, the oral version of herpes.
Yes.
Because what happens is there could be a neurological...
I don't have that. So
there could be a neurological component to those types of herpes infections, and that when you're young, your body has the ability to keep those symptoms in check because it never goes away. It flares up from time to time. But as you get older, your body and your immune system can't do as good a job, and it has a neurological impact.
I'm going regular Coca-Cola, and I'm starting smoking cigarettes.
Also, out of all the diseases, I'd rather get the one that you don't know you have.
Because you know you've got it before you don't know, and that's the problem.
But sometimes you don't.
And then you're the burden.
It would be weird for you to look into your son's eyes and be like, "Do I know you?" That's gotta be.
Yeah, that's dark, man.
When I see the cancer, the black cancer on my legs or foot, I'm like, "Oh no!" And I just see it all the time. I'm like, "Oh, what am I doing?"
Or like when you remember what it was like to see, but you're blind now.
They're like, you got
all bad in their own. They're all bad in their own way. But man,
whatever you tell me, I'll forget.
Or if you're like, I can't stop bleeding out of down there. That's bad.
Yeah, because you're aware of it.
Taking a dark.
That's a bad. Yeah, because you could see it. You're like, no matter how many diapers and clown pants I wear, it's just blood crazy.
If I'm like, who are you? They're like, Dad, it's me, Tommy. I'm like, oh my God, I remember. Then I'm like, it'll go soon. It'll go. Who are you? Better than it's there, and I'll never forget.
I also like the idea of like yes. No. That's what I like.
Listen, you can only joke around about it. What else are you gonna do?
I mean,
I couldn't.
You better joke now.
You can take it seriously, not mock people's disease.
I'm not mocking them. I'm just mocking what will happen.
People with Alzheimer's don't listen to the show, and if they do,
they don't remember.
Watch. Welcome to a gentleman's guide. I'm really getting them.
You're right.
Let's plug some.
People with Alzheimer's probably don't listen to talk radio because you're like,
too confusing.
What
are they talking about?
That white noise can be comforting.
A minute ago, they were talking about the zoo. Now they're talking about the zoo.
The irony is that's like most people's worst nightmare, is losing their brain function or their memory or becoming a burden like that. And that's the one. That's the one you want.
Yeah.
I need that, so I'll just be like on everyone else's playing field. Then you know what I mean? Like I need Alzheimer's because I feel like it would make me have less anxiety.
It probably would,
right? That's my cure.
But there's other symptoms that are just as bad as like mentally, like there's like rage and stuff that comes with it too.
Alzheimer's rage.
Oh yeah.
I'm so mad and I don't remember why I'm mad.
Yeah, I don't know much about that. I know I've seen dementia though, and that's brutal.
Oh yeah.
If I can remember who did the thing I'm mad about, I'm gonna do something to you. Alzheimer's rage.
It's about mood regulation, I think, is the issue.
Yeah.
We got to get out of here. OneFarmForLife.com. Go see Steve. Go see Ray. They just won. What was it?
What did we? A big case.
No, your award. Your big award.
Yeah, well, U.S. News Best Law Firms.
There you go.
Yes.
So you're in good hands.
I don't know how many years, a bunch, but again,
it's been let's just say there's a lot of plaques. Yeah. So OneFirmForLife.com. Guys, thank you so much for listening. TomandDan.com for all things Tom and Dan, and we will see you next week.